Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give it a go here, and kind of show my tips and tricks on how to create leather patterns on Affinity Designer on the iPad. It can get very tricky and complex, and there's a lot of other things that I still need to learn. But this is kind of the way that I do things, and I'm gonna try to keep it as simple and as brief as I can. So the very first thing you want to do is when you open up the application, you're going to go ahead and see this right here. All you need to do is click on new document, and the new document, you want to go right here into devices, and usually I just go and hit print, and right there when you hit print, it's going to give you a bunch of different options in there as well. Just do the A4. I like to do inches or millimeters. So as you can tell, it's basically a piece of paper. Actually, I like to work off millimeters. So then hit OK. Perfect. So then it's going to bring you in here. This is basically your piece of paper, okay? And then some of the things that you're going to be working with is a lot to do with the shapes, okay? So you just made a square. Now, I don't like my shapes to have fills in them. I do and I don't. You'll see here in a bit. But basically, once you create your shape here and you want to change the sizing, you can click on this little dash right here. And then if you move this, it's going to change the width of the line. If you click on it right here, you can change it millimeters, inches, centimeters, whatever you want. Again, I like to work off millimeters, so I like to put 0.1. And then for the fill, I don't like to do a fill. So I just click on this little dash right there. These are different colors you could do. I like no fill. And up here, you can toggle between if you want the fill or just the line. And you can make the line a different color. I just like to stick with black. So there's where you could go ahead and mess around with the fill, the line. But yeah, so basically here is a square, right? And then I figured that to make a vertical wallet again, if you want to change the width and the height, you click on here, and then that will open up this. This is where I do most of the sizing and changing of shapes and whatnot. But here with the width, I like to keep it 75 is good. Height, we'll go ahead and do 100. That's typically pretty good for most. This is a minimalist little card holder. So yeah, that is like your main shape. Now, maybe you don't want the shape to move for whatever reason. You can just go into this one, I believe, and then click on here. Yep, and then here you can see it. You can lock it, unlock it. You can do all kinds of stuff here. That's really useful to lock your shape in case you want to create with your pen tool. You can go in here, right, and start like getting all fancy with the shape and create like a cool little design right here. That's a whole nother thing. I don't have patience for that, so I'm gonna delete it. This is what I do. Want to keep it simple. So once you have your shape right here, what I do is just come into the shapes again, click on the little triangle ellipse shape, and there you go. Just do that. Also make sure down here this is highlighted. That's your snapping tool. That ensures that all those guides you see there are visible. So for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna make it quick. Once you know where you want it, you just highlight both of them. You go up here to these three dots, and here you can copy, paste, you can do all kinds of things. What I want to do right now is divide. So click on divide, and that makes sure that it basically combines both those shapes. Now that's a really narrow. You can like double tap on it, you know what I'm saying, and like move it around, adjust it as you please. But yeah, that's basically like your front pocket. And then say, oh, I actually don't really like that, so I want to go back. What I do with 2 fingers on the screen, just double tap, keep tapping, and then that just undoes whatever you did, and it takes you all the way back, which is really nice. And I'm just gonna go ahead and delete that. Here's another thing that's very convenient over here. If you click on the corner tool, say you want those corners, again I work off millimeters, so for me I think 10 millimeters is good, so you can click on that, 10 millimeters, or you can hold on here and bring it in all the way, right, and it tells you down at the bottom there what it is, and we just want to leave that at 10, and then maybe you want this one to be 10 as well, right, and then this one 10, why not make them all 10? So yeah, that's how you do that. Now another thing that I use a lot is, let's move that over here a little bit. Say I want 2 of these to figure out where I want like a pocket, or I need to, you know, print 2 of these. What I do is with 2 fingers, I push down on the screen, or is it 1? With 1 finger, push down on the screen. Nope, it's 2. 2 fingers push down on the screen, and then that lets you duplicate them, right? So instead of like holding it and then coming up here and hitting like copy, hitting it again, paste, and then you have another one, instead of doing that, just hold 2 fingers down and move the shape, and that creates duplicates. So then you're like, okay, I want the pocket to be down here a little bit. That's actually kind of cool, right? You can like mess around with the height, where you want that. Maybe you don't want these to be rounded, you just want that to be normal. So there you go. What's another really cool thing that I like to do? Oh yes, this is another thing. So trim allowance, stitching, that sort of thing. I'm gonna make a video on how to make sure that whatever pricking iron you use, how to make sure all the holes line up on your specific pattern. That was the biggest pet peeve of mine, and it drove me insane. But I got you. I'll make a video on that a different day, but I'll get to it. So trim allowance and like your stitch allowance, right? Whatever you want to call it. So you click on your shape, you go over here, and then here's where it gets interesting. Right here, where it says, I believe it's the radius. On here, you want to go inside. So you want to go negative. So I like mine to be -3 or -4. A lot of people use -4, okay? But then you're gonna run into a problem. So when you let go, it disappears. That is exactly what you don't want to do. So before you even do that, you want to duplicate this. So for this, again, 2 fingers like that, snap it, or you can just go up here, copy, paste. But anyways, now you have 2, right? 2 shapes on top of each other. That is what you want. Once you have that, just go in here, go in here. I'm just gonna do -4, and boom, right? You have this. Now, this could be your stitch line, but you're like, yo, I don't want to stitch all the way around, this and that. Like I'm not stitching the top. So what you can do is you can double tap this. Hold on, I gotta remember how to do this. No, you want to go up here and hit convert to curves, and then over here you want to go ahead and do one of these, break. Yes, so click on break, and then click on that and just delete it. Click on that and delete. Actually, I didn't want to delete that one. So you just want to go in here and delete this one. And sharp, smart, delete, break. Okay. Whoops. That's another thing you gotta watch out. These are different right here. You have the sharp, smooth, smart. That can get confusing. Just say sharp. There you go. And then that's your line. So we want to go ahead and you can zoom in. Sharp, it's just add another one right there. And then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and break this one. You want to break this one. Yep. So you'll get it. It's a lot easier on the what's it called, on the desktop version. It's way easier to do this, but anyways, you just want to break it. Okay, it's this button right there. But anyways, and another thing too, you always want to make sure you click on the move tool. So this is basically your stitch. So depending on where you want to put your card, you might want to move the stitch down, up, that sort of thing. Again, I messed that up. 2 fingers, just go back. But yeah, that's how you basically add your stitch line, right? To like know where to put the holes with your pricking iron. Now, if you want to add a trim allowance, same thing, right? You want to copy paste, and then you want to go ahead and do the same thing, this little circle icon. And then my trim allowance, I like to do 3 millimeters is pretty good. So same thing, you want to double tap on that. Actually, no, you want to go ahead and convert to curves. Then once you convert to curves, you want to break these. So you want to hit break, delete. Then this one we want to delete. And this one we want to delete. And there you go. So that way I know that, or you can also do this. You can just get rid of that. Get rid of this. Actually, you want to break it. So break. Yep, delete it. And then right here, we want to sharp. We want to come all the way to the end. Here, we want that to be sharp. Go all the way to the top. And then you can somehow, you know what I mean? You can play around with it and figure it out that way. Because then you can like just cut right through here like that. And that's how you know your trim allowance is right there, right? Instead of having that curve, and then you can add your little curve right there of 10 millimeters. There's a lot of ways to do it. But anyways, I hope this helped you kind of learn your way around things. And then another thing that I want to add is, so say you create a cool shape and you want to do it like on both sides. Hold on, let me give you an example real quick. So delete. Let's just delete this stuff out the way so I can show you what I'm talking about. And then you want to come down. And I don't know, maybe you want to make this super like a silly shape. So let's go here, convert to curves, double tap on it. Come on, do your thing. Okay, sharp. So maybe that goes down there. We want to delete that. That could be a cool pocket. Delete that. Anyways, say that's your curve and you want to flip it. You go in here and you can go ahead and either rotate it. Hold on. There we go. Rotate it. So that's how you rotate a shape. You can flip it. You can put it on, stack it on top of each other. You can do all kinds of things. But anyways, eventually what you want to get to is something like this. This, right? So let me just go ahead and get rid of all of this. Boom. Nope, I think I just moved it. Boom. Boom. We don't want fills. This is just a pocket, right? So you guys get the gist of it. But yeah, so eventually you just want to get to something like this. I have a card in here as an example to kind of guide me on the spacing, the stitch. These stitches, especially around the corners, are not easy to do. Again, I'll make a different video on how to do that later on. But yeah, and how to add like a logo, create your logo, I can go over that too. And I'll put a 4 millimeter there just so I know that the spacing between these stitches is 4 millimeters. But yeah, eventually you're gonna be able to get to this point. It just takes practice, trust me, lots and lots of practice. And eventually you're gonna be able to see a wallet sometimes I know Instagram, for example, everybody posts on there. Sometimes I see a wallet, I'm like, wow, I can totally make that. And then it's like, oh, it's instead of 75, it's maybe 80 millimeters because it's a little wider. Maybe you can make your own adjustments to it. You can then trust me, it just comes naturally with time. And then you can make your own adjustments as needed. But yeah, I hope this video helped you.